We're here.
Okay. Okay, cool.
I thought it was on my end. I was like scrambling. I'm like, what did I do?
Nope. We're here. We're here. Okay. Cool.
Yo, welcome to the most scuffed podcast you'll ever hear. Because as you can tell by my voice, I sound like I'm dying. And if you can tell by Nubby's voice, that's not Emily. That's Nubby without a camera. Hi, Nubby.
Hello.
So
I get to look everywhere and all at once.
So, for those of you who don't know, Nubby and I have known each other. Dude, we've known each other for a decade. Almost a decade.
Has it been just a decade or is it over a decade?
It'll be it's well over a decade. What am I talking about? It's almost been 20 years.
I know.
Oh my God. I've known Nubby for way too long.
Welcome to old age, my friend.
I know. Oh God, I don't want to think about it. It's okay. It's okay. So Emily's out of town this week, so I decided to bring on our good friend Nubby to do another bracket fight. I won't spoil the bracket fight yet because we're going to talk about news stuff first, which won't take very long. Not much has happened in the past week. And if Nubby has any news, I'll let him interject with any news he may have. Do you have any gaming news?
No. Other than I've been playing Final Fantasy VIII and I'm almost done with it.
I'm almost done with 16. I finally buckled down and played 16. And
I like the story of 16 a lot.
16 is finally going in a direction I like. Go ahead.
I don't like the gameplay though.
I think the gameplay is a little bland on the blander side. However, it's a story I'm actually invested in a world I'm actually invested in.
I was so invested with that story.
I'm not going to put exactly where I am so I don't spoil it for everybody because I'm like I said, I'm almost done. I just got the last icon. You know where I am at.
Uh-huh.
Yep. I'm right now. I'm just like, all right. Let me go finish all the marks, what are they? The bulletin board monsters, and then I'll finish up. So, I love this game. I don't know why I put it off for as long as I did. I know why I did because 13 happened and then 15 happened, and yeah, I hate both those games.
I still don't get your hate for 15, but that's a different talk.
I don't. Okay, to be fair, I hate 13. I don't hate 15, but 15 just felt. It felt hollow for me. I don't know. 13 was just bad.
Florence the Machine in it? Don't care.
You know what? Fine. Fair. Cool. Let's jump into our news segment here. So I only have just 4 pieces of news. First and foremost, it's the year of our Lord 2025, and the PlayStation 3 got an update. So that's a thing.
What?
It got an update, I think, yesterday. It was mainly or it was 2 days ago. It was an update for stability and improvements, I guess, and everyone's thinking it's for the Blu-ray player to keep working, but like, dude, it's fine. It's PlayStation 3. What are we investing in here? So boot up your PS3 and update it, I guess. Sure. For your next bit of news, the next bit of news revolves around my comfort game right now, Balatro, where the creator is calling out for the mental health crisis that is happening with it right now. I haven't really dived too deep into it, but he says his masterpiece has brought up some kind of mental health crisis, probably in the, if I had to guess without reading, because I can't read, if I had to guess, it has to either do with something with gambling addiction or something to do with, I'm just going to read it real quick. Shit. Okay. I get it. It's his own mental health crisis. Nubby, why don't you make me read things?
Because you said you couldn't read, and I don't force people who can't do things.
That's, you know what, that's very nice of you. That's good for mental health. Great. So yeah, okay. So he had a mental health crisis once he released it, and the stress of dealing with the public around him from the success. Okay, that sucks, because like his game brought so much joy to others, and everyone loves it. And I think he still loves it now. But I don't. He didn't expect to sell more than 4 copies, and he's sold over 1 million, and it has got nominated for Game of the Year. Have you played yet?
Yeah.
Have you played yet,
No.
dude?
No.
Dude, I didn't get it until I played it, and now I get it. It was never about poker. It was always about making big number bigger. It's all you gotta know.
I don't wanna. I don't.
Nothing, you gotta do it,
I try
dude.
not to play games on my phone.
Huh?
I really try not to play games on my phone.
You can get it on PlayStation or Switch. I have it on my PlayStation and Switch.
Fair.
So-
You make a fair point.
Duffy, do it. You got it, buddy. You gotta do it.
I'll think about it.
Second to last bit of news, and this is for all you fans for podcasts and fans for Hazelight. Next week, Emily and I will be playing Split Fiction, which came out yesterday. Same creators as It Takes Two, and what was the other one? A Way Out. And it's already the highest rated game of the year so far, sitting at a 91 on Metacritic. It's huge. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Did you play It Takes Two or A Way Out?
Okay, look, It Takes Two has been on my list forever, but I haven't bought it because I needed a second controller. I finally have a second controller, so Mary and I will eventually play it.
You got it, dude. It's very good. It's very good. When Chase and I played it, we kept fighting on who got to be the mom. So we swapped every time. Emily and I have established who we will be in Split Fiction. She will be the fantasy writer, and I will be the sci-fi writer, and that just fits perfectly. That just works for us.
That fits very well.
I won't have to fight her.
I would have to be fantasy.
Huh?
Me and Emily would have to fight because I would be fantasy.
I see. Yeah, you guys can have that. I like the space things. I like things in space. So
I like fantasy in space.
why? I mean, this gives me both, so I'm happy with both. I'll take both. Porque no los dos, baby. Let's go. Oh God, it hurts to talk. Last bit of news, and probably, I mean, it's exciting for a lot of people. Emily being that group of people. I haven't been a big Assassin's Creed fan since Black Flag. But I will be playing Shadows. Shadows runtime has come out. Main story is going to be about 30 to 40 hours, and the 100% will only be about 80 hours, which is a step down from Valhalla and a step down from Odyssey and Origins, which people are happy about because no one wants to 100% thing in 120 hours.
No, no.
So AC Shadows comes out March 20th, I think. I have it pre-ordered. It's ready to go. When was the last time you played an Assassin's Creed game?
Never, not once in my life.
You know what? Totally fair. I do recommend the 2 trilogy if you ever want to try it. I mean, they're just good. And then Black Flag is just a great time. Anything after Black Flag to me is just kind of meh. But
Well, now that I have my gaming PC set up and whatnot, it's on my list to play. I just haven't had time yet. I was in grad school. I finished that, and now I'm catching up on reading and playing other games.
hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Cool. Now we're going to get into the meat and the potatoes. The real reason we're here. And Kinger, I'm glad you're in chat because you're also going to yell at me. It's time that we are going to do a bracket fight, and I need to share my screen with Nubby here so he can see what we're looking at. We're going to do a bracket fight for each Pokemon generation to determine which the best Pokemon generation is. Now, a few rules. We have come up right with criteria like Emily did last time with Zelda. I sent Nubby the criteria. The criteria is story, Pokedex, the gym leader / Elite Four, and then gimmick / new mechanics. And the last 2 things. Gen 2 gets a bye because one thing had to get a bye, and I just randomly did a number generator and it told me 2. So it gets the bye.
Honestly, of all the generations, Gen 2 automatically deserves the bye.
No, we're not starting the fight yet. We're not starting the fight yet. We're not starting the fight yet.
I'm not fighting. I'm just saying I agree with what happened.
The second thing, remakes are included with their generations. However, when I say included with their generations, Fire Red and Leaf Green is in Gen 3, not Gen 1. Heart Gold Soul Silver is in Gen 4, not Gen 2. So that will be in consideration for the generation it came out in. It's one thing to note. So when we're talking about Gen 2, we're not talking about Heart Gold Soul Silver, only Gold, Silver, and Crystal. You cool with that?
I'm fine. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
The only reason I decided that way is because of the gimmicks, specifically for Gen 6 when we got Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. We had megas in that, and we don't have that in vanilla Gen 3. So cool. With that being said, round 1 is going to be the easiest for me. I don't know about you, but it's Gen 3 versus Gen 7. So Ruby Sapphire, Emerald, Fire Red, Leaf Green versus Sun Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
Okie doke. I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Initial thoughts. I need initial thoughts, and then we'll go through our rubric.
Honestly, initial thoughts. I have such nostalgia for Generation 3. Like, Ruby and just honestly Sapphire. I can just speak Sapphire and Emerald. Like, I put so many hours into those games because I loved the Hoenn, like, just the map of Hoenn. Yes, there's too much water, but
7 out of 10,
it.
too much water.
I love the whole, like, well, it goes into our criteria a little bit, but the story of it was, like, amazing. And just, like, even going into Fire Red, Leaf Green, I love what they added. The Sevi Islands was such a cool little add to make it better for yourself. It was amazing. When it comes to Gen 7, though,
Oh, no.
God, that was such a boring game. Like,
Oh, okay. Thank God.
I literally was like, is it still going? I'm still going. I still have more. I've been playing this game forever.
Okay. This is where Kinger and I argue, is because I do not like Gen 7. I've never finished a Gen 7 game. I get past Island 1, I'm like, I'm bored. Huh?
I finished them all 4 of them.
Why?
Version exclusions for living decks.
Oh, that's right. You know what? That's valid. You're a stronger man than I am, because I get to Island 2 and I'm like, nah, this ain't it, Doug. This ain't it. So I can't speak on story for Gen 7. But for Gen 3, I mean, Gen 3 is just incredible all the way around. It was my first generation. I was a Ruby Emerald person. It was my first Pokemon games. And I've loved it. I can replay Emeralds every year and not get bored and just have a good time. The Pokedex is great. And it's got some of my favorite. I like all the starters. There's not a single starter that misses in Gen 3 either. Trico, Mudkip, Torchic, all bangers, right? So I think this is handily Gen 3 for both of us, but we'll go through the rubric to be fair, to be clear.
Yeah,
Story, Gen 3 by a mile.
Story's Gen 3. Yeah, and it's Gen 3 for me. There's a couple things I do want to talk about that I love that you've paired these two together.
Okay.
These are the both generations that you essentially have 2 quote villain teams.
I don't know for Gen 7, so
I know. So that's why I think it's super funny that like these end up together, because these are the 2 generations that technically had 2 evil teams. The Aether Foundation ends up being evil, by the way, in Gen 7. So that's why I'm
spoilers.
viewing them as an evil team. But I really love that Gen 3, for the first time, makes legendaries feel legendary.
Like they have a purpose.
They have a purpose.
Because
they're powerful gods.
yeah, if you look back at Gen 1, even like there was no technically box legendary in Gen 1. It was your starters, and you could find Mewtwo, which was mysterious. Gen 2, they kind of were incorporated, but not really. In Gen 3, they really they were the big part of the story. You're absolutely right. Though I never understood, and this is not harping on the game. This is nothing with the game, but I never understood how Team Magma and Team Aqua were like, I need the blue orb for red Pokemon and red orb for blue Pokemon, and expected that not to fuck everything up.
Right.
Can we be real here for a second? Can we be real?
Can we also be real when it comes to Aqua and Magma? I want all water versus I want all land. Hold on. Wait. How do you get what you want in the end with either one of those things?
Neither of them really were the brightest crown in the box. They skipped a couple lessons on the ecosystem in school. So, yeah, they were little goofy guys. What's up, Per? But no, I mean, and the Rayquaza thing, I will not say Rayquaza. You cannot make me. That's a dumb name. It's Rayquaza. Yeah, it was just great. I don't know anything about the Solgaleo Lunala nonsense, so I can't speak on that either.
I can speak a little bit on it just to like kind of fill you in. So here's spoilers for Gen 7 for y'all. Essentially, what happens is Ultra Beast, or really the Eighth Foundation, is trying to like get into this parallel world called, I forgot what it's called already, sorry. But it's where the Ultra Beasts are from. And through that like connection, you have essentially an invasion happen, and Solgeo and Lunala help you traverse. Like they're the good Ultra Beasts who like help you traverse to the other area and like help you stop the other Ultra Beasts from accidentally taking over the world.
Okay.
Also, the Island Guardians help fight too, which is kind of a really cool scene where like you see them all like stancing up against someone else, and they're about to like straight up like fist fight them. I'm like, okay, that's kind of fun.
All the taboos.
So yeah, I kind of like that scene, but
okay. So I mean, I think we're in agreement. The for Gen. Oh, okay. The last big thing to mention, Gen 3 really didn't have any new mechanics other than visuals.
double battles.
And double battles, yeah. So we got, you're right. That was the introduction of double battles. Gen 7 introduced Z moves, which never came back. So.
Never came back. And honestly, I didn't feel they were very effective. Double battles changed all online battle play.
Yeah. Double battles are now the standard for tournament. So yeah, it's Gen 3. What are we talking even? No, it's Gen 3. Gen 3 continues on.
Well, a couple things I do want to mention though with Gen 3, is if you're talking about Pokemon, it is the least amount that they've ever added.
Yes, true.
Which is upsetting. But I do want to talk about the Lisa and Tate. Also, gym was my favorite gym.
Oh, Tate and Liza? Tate and Liza.
Yes. Yeah. Oh. Because that double battle against Solrak and Lunatone killed me, but was so good. It just felt epic.
Literally is the bane of my Nuzlocking existence, but only for Nuzlocking. Because during Nuzlocking, it's rough. It is very, very hard, but it's very, very worth it. I love Tate and Liza. I thought they were both females until I was an adult and was able to realize that they're brother and sister. I had no clue.
Brother and sister. Yep.
I will also, this is my only mark against Emerald specifically. Why did we change the champion? It should have stayed Steven. That's it. It should have stayed Steven. Wallace. He's fine. And also Generation 7 had no gym leaders. So
no, not a single one.
Nope.
And honestly, the total Pokemon weren't cool enough. Sorry. Like
no. You go ahead.
I give you props for trying. I do not give you props for failing.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. Cool. We're gonna go all the way to the right side of the bracket. We're at Generation 1, where it all started, versus Generation 5.
Which is, it is it is it is it's the reboot era.
So crazy. You're right. It is the reboot era versus the OG beginning.
Yeah.
So here's my thing. Here's my thing about these two. Is as much as I love Generation 1 and what it did, I think that Gen 1ers who will not go past Gen 1 are some of the most annoying motherfuckers on the planet.
Oh, 100%. Like honestly, by our criteria, I already know my opinion. Gen 5 is going to win.
Oh, it is.
Because first off, if you want to talk about Pokedex, it has 156 Pokemon, 150 of them essentially being almost exact carbon copies of a Gen 1 Pokemon, but
Yep.
some of them done really, really cool. Actually, quite a few of them done really, really, really cool. There's an actual storyline in Gen 5. Gen 1, you just accidentally break up an evil team. Like,
You're just doing 10-year-old shit and you just beat up an old man. That's it.
yeah, that's it. Like, that's the story. When it comes to gems, the first gem in Nova, at least in Black and White Original, is a rotation gem, meaning whatever starter you picked depended on who you fought, which I thought was such a cool idea. Then in the specials, meaning Black and White 2, you actually started in a whole different area and had different gym leaders to do.
And Sharon's first gym is ridiculous in Gen 5 in Black and White 2.
Yeah.
Sharon is insanely hard for a normal type gym leader for Gym 1, weirdly enough.
Yes. Yeah. And then if you want to talk about gimmicks, what's the gimmick in Gen 1? It's just the baseline.
It
And then
exists.
I was thinking, like, it exists. And then Gen 5, they add triple battles, and that's the game that includes seasons.
It also had rotation battles, which are different from triple battles. So we
Yeah,
had
but,
two new battle types.
3v3.
Yeah,
3v3.
rotation battles were. I mean, they didn't bring them back. They didn't bring either of them back, and I know why.
No.
Like they were going to be too hard to implement. But
Yeah.
I liked its innovation. Now I'll give this to Gen 1. Obviously, you can't add a new gimmick to the first. Like the new gimmick is the thing itself. It is the whole idea. But also, Gen 1 is held together with Spit in a Dream. With how many glitches and bugs are in it. Like it is poorly put together. Which made if you had Alakazam, you just win the game. Like that's it.
Yeah.
It was just kind of broken. If we're talking in terms of story, there's no contest. Gen 5 has a story. Gen 1 does not have a story, really. So that's that. Pokedex, you got the original 151 versus the 156. I will go 50-50 on this and 50-50 on what you said. Because, I mean, Gen 1 has a special place in my heart with a lot of the things, but Gen 5 has improved on a lot of those things. I honestly think it could go either way in terms of Pokedex.
I could split it 50-50 as well. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Gym leaders, I'm 1,000% with you, though. It's Gen 5. Just the first gym alone is right off the bat great.
I also do want to add in, though, in Black and White, you don't technically fight the champion until you do the post game and then decide to do the Elite Four again.
Yep. You fight. You don't fight Alder at all. Yeah, you fight. What's his name? Getsus. And Getsus. And then you had to fight Getsus again. They brought him back.
And I will say, Gen 1's Elite Four is really tough.
Oh, it is. And it did introduce one of the biggest quote unquote twists in, early gaming history with, your rival being the champion. Like that was a big twist back then. But still, I mean, it was cool beating him and taking him down 5 minutes. I still think the E4, it has to go to Gen 5 for gyms and E4.
It's overall. Because I also really liked the Elite Four in Gen 5 was the one that you got to choose who you wanted to do and what order.
Yeah. And they brought that back.
Oh, loved that. I honestly loved that. I could do that. I was like, ooh, I want to do this one first, then this one. Like, that
Yeah,
choice just made it so great.
they did that in Gen 6. I don't remember if they did it in 8. I know they didn't do it in 9.
They
I
didn't do
can't.
it in 9, and they don't, no, they didn't do it in 8 either.
Okay, so it was just Gen 5 and 6 that they did it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's that then. Yeah, and then gimmicks, Gen 5, it was just a reboot.
Yeah.
Nothing new except for the triple battles, which were taken away. So yeah, I mean, Black and White and Black and White 2 easily sweep Gen 1. Sorry, Gen 1ers, get fucked, stay fucked.
Yeah.
Back
Yeah.
to back to the left side of the bracket, we got Gen 4 versus Gen 9, and both of them added a lot of new things to the table, but Gen 4 probably added the most important thing to all Pokemon, and that's the physical special split, which never existed before.
That's what happened. I literally was like, what was the difference? Like, what was the gimmick that they did?
It's
Okay. I
physical
cannot remember it.
the physical special split was huge because
Yeah.
before all ghost type moves, for example, were physical moves. There were no special ghost type moves. So if you had a ghost type that was special, was a special attacker, it didn't matter. It wasn't great. It was whatever. But now each individual move was either physical or special, and all those things mattered. And you could, every Pokemon now had viability because of it. It was probably the most important advancement Pokemon's ever had. Gen 9, as broken as it is, introduced open world to Pokemon. I mean, Gen 8 kind of did it, but not as well. Gen 9 was true open world in the sense of do what you want in whatever order. They don't recommend it, they won't scale for you, but you could do it. You could fight the last gym leader first and die. But
And look, maybe that happened to me in my first playthrough. I found a very late gym leader early, and yeah, that was fun.
you were level 5 and they were level, 40. It's fine. It's okay.
I was actually level 30 and they were level 40, but it's
I mean,
fine.
life happens. Life happens. In terms of story, I'm caught in between both because as much as Scarlet and Violet, once again, broken as shit, the ending was actually pretty interesting. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But
I
go ahead.
I love first off, I love that it's also not just one story, right? Like you do three storylines that lead that like three branches that lead to one climactic final event. And honestly, that final event is worth it. Like,
It was also a massive twist. They brought back our massive twist that we were looking for.
yeah, yeah, like, oh, I loved it. It's so heart-wrenching too. And Doggo with sandwiches.
Now, they also, for some reason, got Ed Sheeran to do the credit song, which, funny enough, 2 weeks ago, my wife and I went into a Home Goods and they were playing that song.
Oh, that's so funny.
Because I go to Alice and I'm like, you know what this is? She goes, it sounds like Ed Sheeran, but I don't think it is. I'm like, it is. And it's the credits for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the song he wrote for these games.
Yeah.
So it was very funny. But I will say this about Gen 4's story. I do like Team Galactic. I think they were done very well. And the Distortion world is sick. The three
Distortion world.
It was so cool.
Yes. Like, oh,
Ugh.
like how much I want to replay Platinum just so I could live through this Distortion world because these two faithful remakes of Diamond and Pearl were too faithful. Like I'm so heartbroken about them cutting that Distortion world because that was so cool. Giratina, such a cool legendary. The legendary lore also is so cool in Gen 4.
They even
The legendary
included.
lore
Go
in
ahead.
Paldea is trash.
Oh yeah, it's just a future and a past Pokemon. There's nothing crazy about them. And by technicality, they're not even legendaries. They're just a future evolution and a past evolution.
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
a yeah, they're not legendaries. And I guess you have the legendaries that are not box art, but they're just kind of there as well. She
There's no real story to them.
no, not at
There's
all.
lore, but it's not central to anything.
But Gen 4 makes all three of the lake legendaries, your trio, they're all relevant.
Uh-huh.
Mesprit, Azelf, and Yuxi are all relevant to the story. So not only are the box legendaries important, but the three lake trio is also important. And they're like, let's incorporate everything. But
Yeah.
of course, no love for Heatran still.
That's okay. He kind of sucks.
He does suck. Pokedex, it's handily Gen 4. It's handily Gen
Okay.
4 for me. What do
Okay,
you
but
think?
can we I have to give credit to Gen 9 for one thing.
Okay.
Lechonk,
Okay.
Smolin. These are the millennial Pokemon. We have taken over Pokemon and we're
I,
gonna name them officially. Like, we have created the millennial Pokemon.
there is one more in that is the Tinkatuff line. All of them.
Oh,
They're the girly
Tinkertoy.
pops. They're
The
girly
girly
pops.
pops. Exactly.
They're your Charlie XCX, your Chaperone types.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
I'll give them that. However, I mean, if we're going off, legendaries alone, Gen 4 just sweeps.
Gen 4, it is superior. I'll give you that. But I do like, as we're losing, as Gen 9's losing, we have to give the honorable mentions of like what really got my heart going.
I know. I will give this to Gen 9. It's better than Gen 7.
Oh yes.
Gen 9,
I agree.
I thoroughly enjoyed it when I played it. It was the first time I felt like I enjoyed a Pokemon game since Gen 6. I was happy. And so I'll give it that. 1,000%.
Like, I still love to just run around in that game. Like, I don't even care if I'm looking for anything. Just the fact that I can run around is like truly the best thing ever.
It really is. And also, you can get Mareep super early, so goaded. Goaded. That's a point off for Gen 4. You can't get Mareep early except for in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. It's the only time you can get them early.
Okay. Also, Heart Gold Soul Silver, like,
Follower.
beautiful remakes. Beautiful remakes.
They are probably handily the best remakes. I will say, as a Gen 3 boy, I understand the Gen 2 remakes are still the best.
Yeah, they really are. They really are.
Though they did mess one thing up. They could have fixed. They could have fixed the level gaining and the level scaling. They could have fixed it and made it
Highest
such
level
a,
wild to 145. Yes.
yeah. It and just leveling up is so slow. It is so painful because I understand they had to make it slow because they added two regions, but geez, it is a slog to grind in that game.
You have two regions, and then you have your wonderful boss at the end who's level 80, and the highest on Pokemon's 45. Are
Yep,
you kidding me?
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So I will dock the points for that. Gimmicks we've already talked about. Gym leaders in Elite Four. Cynthia. I mean, come on, Cynthia over Gita, easy.
Cynthia over Gita, 10,000%. Also, Gen 4 is the first 3D Pokemon games, so this is when they got to really design gyms on a new level, and they slap.
Oh,
Like,
they're all good.
those gym designs are so good. I like, I love it. And Fantina, I mean, one of the toughest gyms.
Oh,
Also,
she's
yet
rough.
again,
She's
she's
rough.
rough.
She's kind of a pain, especially in Platinum. In Platinum
Yeah, and
specifically.
it's because of that Drifloon at the beginning, who has, shoot, I'm gonna forget the ability. Um, the one that hurts your Pokemon when it faints because it's essentially popping.
Oh, explosion.
No, the ability. It's an ability on Drifloon.
Aftermath.
Drifloon.
Aftermath.
Aftermath. Thank you.
Yep. Aftermath. Also a Nuzlocke's nightmare. Terrible. Hate it.
It's a
Miserable.
nightmare.
It's
Yeah.
dumb and I hate it.
And And I will say, I really do like Gen 9 in the sense of like the open world and the gyms, you can go in any order. But those gym challenges
Oh, they're lame.
were weak.
Yep.
They're lame.
Uh,
The only one I liked was the snow one, where I was essentially snowboarding down a mountain. That's the only one I liked.
I will give Gen 9 this for terms of gym leaders and Elite Four because he's in both. Larry, 10 out of 10.
Larry,
Larry is
the
me.
most relatable. I need two jobs.
I
Get
think
it. I got it, Larry. I get it.
I think this handily goes to Gen 4. I think we know this. We're just trying to sing the praises of Gen 9 at least a little bit because it wasn't
Yeah.
awful.
It wasn't an awful generation. It was a good generation. It's got to, and I do also like terrestrialization. I do like
Oh, that's
I like
another
it.
gimmick. I do like terrestrialization because it did change up battles. It at least was an interesting concept. A thousand
Right?
percent.
It gave them a third, essentially gave them a third typing that it really does change up. I like it. I like it a lot.
I will say this though. Gen 9 probably would have been a lot closer had it not been as buggy as it still is to this
Oh,
day.
100%.
It's bad.
You know why? You know why they didn't put in the shiny sound?
Because it caused bugs.
No, because Pokemon can appear on the other side of a wall, and so they didn't want you to know when it happened.
Oh my gosh, they got lazy. This is $1 billion company. The literally the franchise that makes the most money out of any franchise, and they just got
Yep.
lazy. They knew it's going to sell anyways. But I think they're finally feeling the heat, and they know they have to do better. We'll see with Legends ZA, I guess. Maybe.
I hope so. We'll talk. We can talk about that later if you want. I have feelings about the announcement that just happened.
Oh, I mean, I mean, technically it's in Gen 9. It will be part of Gen 9 because it comes out before Gen 10.
Yeah. Like my problem with announcements is for something that you're like holding close to your chest, you did not announce anything.
No. No. You just showed us there's a little bit more strategy to attacking. You move around
That's
a little
it.
bit.
Like, and you gave us the starters. There was nothing else in all of that. Like, I felt it was a very lackluster announcement for a game that you were like,
Yeah.
we aren't going to say anything about it because we want this to be as secret as possible.
I
Very
also
lackluster.
there's a good point from chat. I mean, he didn't make the point, but I'm just going to say this. I understand what they did in Legends Arceus, where they had a starter from different regions. You had Piplup, you had was it Piplup? Yeah, it was Piplup, Cyndaquil, and who was the third?
Rowlet. But they
Yeah,
brought back Cyndaquil, that's all I cared about. But yes, Rowlet.
Yeah. But in this one, they're like two from Gen 2 and one from Gen 5. None from Gen 6, where you
That was
are.
so odd.
Like,
Well, they don't need it from Gen 6 because the Gen 4 starters were in Legends Arceus, so those Gen 6 starters will be there.
they have to be.
But they have to be. But it was very odd they did choose two from Gen 2.
They could
It
have
felt weird.
easily swapped out, either Totodile for Mudkip or Trico for Chikorita. I keep wanting to say Cyndaquil.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
It was the best. That's all it is.
Yeah, they could have
Yeah.
easily. Oh, Kinger's right. It was Samurott who was the water one. It was Oshawott in Legend.
Oshawott.
Yeah, that's right. So they had no Gen 4 ones there except for what you caught them. Okay, that's fine. But still, too much focus on Gen 2. We get it. You like Gen 2. It's fine.
I love it.
I do too.
I
But
wait till we get to the Gen 2 fight. 'Cause
God,
I'm ready.
moving on. Gen 8 versus Gen 6.
Oh, man. Okay.
Oh, I have thoughts, but I want to hear your thoughts first.
Okay. Which one do you want me to start with? Do you want me to start with Gen 6 or Gen 8?
Whichever your heart wants to talk about first.
Okay. I'm just going to straight up say this. As I was like reminding myself what Gen 6 had, almost everything is forgettable. I don't remember the story other than Like, I don't remember why Team Flare was going after this weapon. Like, straight up don't remember. I do remember that AZ was a thing,
Yep.
and I remember the background to that story. That's it when it comes to story. Um, I do love the Pokemon that they add. Ditto, Goat. That's where we added Litleo and Pyroar. Like they added some very powerful. Again, this was a generation they didn't add a lot of Pokemon to, but a lot of them, in my opinion, like their designs were strong.
Yep.
I'll give them that.
People don't talk about it enough. I love Delphox. I think Delphox was a great starter design. I loved it. And typing.
Hey,
Delphox is
yeah.
dope as shit.
And also, wait, we have to give them credit that this was finally when they broke the firefighting typing.
And then they brought it back. They brought
I
it.
know.
Oh, anywho, continue.
I don't remember any of the gym designs or many of the gym leaders. Like when I was looking this up again to refresh my memory, I was like, "Oh yeah, you're a gym leader in this generation. Oh yeah, that's you." Oh,
I
like
I
it is
remember
a
the rock
very
climbing one.
forgettable generation.
I remember the rock climbing one, and I
I
remember
remember the stage.
Katharina, the skating one, because she gives you Mega
Yep,
Lucario for free.
yep.
Uh,
And then
Go
a
ahead.
really good gimmick was Mega Evolution. Like
Hmm.
I liked the gimmick of Mega Evolution. I think it was another one that changed battling for a while. They did get rid of it essentially right after, but it is not used in the game essentially like at all storyline wise. Like
Not
the Sander
until the
uses it,
champion. Not until the champion.
the champion uses it, and that's about it.
Yeah. Uh, the legendaries are also a little bit more lackluster too. I mean, in terms of story, Xerneas is
Oh yeah.
cool. Yveltal, I don't give two shits about, but in terms of story, they really didn't fit in either.
I
So
do like their concepts though. Life, death, and then the balance between.
yes,
That is what they are. That's what they represent, and I like that representation. I just hate that they were underused.
they were. And then Xerneas became very hated in competitive because it was a broken fairy type. No dragon can hit it. So
Yeah.
and now gimmicks. It did it like you already mentioned. Mega Evolution. It also introduced the fairy type. We did get the fairy
Oh,
type
fair
because
enough.
of it, and also got Sylveon in it. Now fairy type was the what was needed to finally take dragons off their throne because dragons were overpowered every time. There
Mhm.
was even ice was their biggest weakness in them themselves, but ice type is not a great type for the
And
most
ice is
part.
not. There's not a lot of ice type either.
No, except for Spiel. All you need is Spiel.
Yeah.
So I'll give it that. Also, it gave me Mega Ampharos. It also gave us the remakes for Ruby and Sapphire for Gen 3, my favorite generation, which did a lot of cool things. I will give it the flying over the map, the legendary
Yeah.
portals. I did not like though how easily you got Latios or Latios. You just kind of got it early, very
Yeah.
early. So I did not enjoy that. However, I liked what they did with it once you got him. How you could just fly over everything, and it was so cool.
It was so cool. I love that.
They actually utilized the megas more. They even utilized them with the legendaries, which was sick.
Yeah.
So I'll give Gen 6 that. But
And I
everything else,
also want to.
yeah, go ahead.
It's also the first generation that they finally like re-released older legendaries on an
Yeah,
easy way.
yeah.
I
Find a
love that.
portal. Find a portal.
Yeah. Or
Except,
and also can we talk about Delta episode? It
oh yeah, the Delta episode was cool.
was so good, and that was the way that they could distribute Deoxys without having to do a distribution. Loved it. Chef's kiss. Like,
It was very well done. It was very, very well
hey,
done. So good on them for Gen 6 there. Now Gen 8, because here's the problem with this matchup, is because I feel the same way about both in terms of remembering things. I don't remember.
yeah,
I remember one gym leader, and it was the grass one, and that's it. The
yeah,
story, I remember there was Eternatus, and he was
yeah.
there, and he was a big scary. But I guess I remember Rose was the villain, and then all of a sudden he got a beer belly out of nowhere when you had to fight him, which I don't know where that came from, but sure. Yeah, I remember that happening. I'm like, that's weird. I remember your rival Bede having a pretty bopping rival tune.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, I don't know. Not much stuck out to me, and Gigantamaxing and all that was just fine. It was like a lazier Mega Evolution to me, you know?
So for me, like going off with, again, story wise, I don't remember it very well either. I literally was like, okay, well, if I remember correctly, story wise, essentially you're helping this one person like study ancient Pokemon, like, ooh, these historic Pokemon are blah 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 blah, you know? And then like, oh no, you find out that the bad guy is literally the government official, which I'm all about that, but like it felt out of place. It felt random. Like it wasn't like a cohesive story. And you're right. Where did his beer belly come from? Because it wasn't there at the beginning
It
either.
was not.
And
uh,
like gym battles. Now I will say I liked the gym battles. I don't really remember the gym challenges to get to the battles either. I like the gym battles with Dynamax because honestly, the fact that your Pokemon just get giant did make the battles feel epic. I'm
yeah,
not saying it's a gimmick because the only thing that it changed was HP.
it changed HP, and then all your fire moves were a specific fire move, and all your grass moves were a specific.
Yeah.
Like they all were a specific thing. You
They're
know.
all a specific thing, and they all did make an effect on the field when you did that move. But it really was like it was just a very crowd hype thing, and I liked it for that, but it wasn't necessarily a good uh gimmick.
Uh Now in terms of Pokedex for both, we both both of these generations gave us the most powerful fairy type legendaries of their ever, which are Xerneas
Yeah,
and Zacian, like
yeah.
known to be broken. Other than that, if I had to pick a Pokedex, I think I'm going Gen 6 because you got Hone Edge, which is dope. I love the
Oh, I love.
swords. Uh,
Yeah, I would
it was
agree. Like I like Gen 8's Pokemon. Like I will say, I do actually like Gen 8's Pokemon. But what really kills it for me, the fossils.
yeah, yeah.
Why? Why are we just taking, oh, we're going to take this bottom half with this random top half and bam, that's your new Pokemon. I hated that so much.
What's even worse for me was I understood before with the specific evolution things. I understood how they did it in certain cases in other generations. But for Surfetched, where you have to land 3 critical hits in a row in the same fight and then you evolve, that's
Yeah,
weird. Runerigus, you have to take exactly what 41 damage or something and then walk under this rock.
33,
A third, like
maybe 21. It's
it's
something weird.
it's so specific and hard to pull off. And someone's mentioning Inkay from Gen 6. At least that one makes
I was like,
sense.
and that's upside down. That was very specific.
It was very specific, but it's something that that's within your control. You can do that, right? With Gen 6, 8, I can't guarantee I'm going to get hit 3 times in a row with a critical hit. I can't guarantee I'm going to take exactly 33 damage. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, it's yeah, that killed that for me. I hated
Yeah.
it. We talked about gimmicks, talking about Pokedex story. We talked about all the things. I mean, I could go either way, but if I have to pick, I'm gonna go Gen 6 because of Megas alone.
I'll be very honest. After this conversation, so before this conversation, I thought I was going to lean Gen 8. I really thought I was going to. But
Yeah,
after this conversation, no, I think you're right. I think because of the Pokedex and because of the gimmick, I'm going Gen 6.
I I need to record this memory. It's already recording, but someone write this down. For the first time in almost 20 years, Nubby has said I was right. Holy shit. I don't know how to feel right now. I'm so happy.
be fair,
Uh,
you're not right often, but it's okay.
most of the time I'm not, but in this case, I get my pass.
That's so funny.
Okay, now we will get to do more sped up because we've already talked about like the specifics of these things. So now it's just pure argument for argument's sake, which is better due to the criteria. We don't really have to go into the details unless they're important. So we got Gen 3 versus Gen 4.
Can we do this one second? Because I'm not
Yeah.
ready to have this. That's fine.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. We'll do Gen 5 versus Gen 6 because I think this one's easily handily Gen 5 for both of us.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Gen 5, 100%. The Pokemon, everything. Just everything.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay.
It beats it on everything, in my opinion.
Crazy it's making it to the finals. That's insane. But I'll give it to it. It's good story, good Pokemon. I'll take it. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Gen 3 versus Gen 4.
Okay, first off, Kinger, I know you say but Mega. One thing doesn't carry it all the way.
Yeah, it
Sorry.
doesn't. I mean, if we were specifically talking Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, I might be leaning more that way, but I still don't think I would be. I still think Gen 5 because Gen 5 story alone carries it so far.
It carries it so far. Such a good story, calling themselves out.
In is dope. I love it.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So gimmicks are the two gimmicks that are truly the big changes that have stayed forever. Double
Yes.
battles, and physical special. Like, I don't know how to choose between those two. I'll be very honest.
We don't have to choose between gimmick. We can definitely choose between story and gym leaders. I mean, okay. In terms of everything, story, Pokedex, gym leaders, Gen 3 will always be that special place in my heart. Like Battle Frontier stuff was sick. The new Pokemon were sick. There is not a single miss I feel like in Gen 3. Gen 4, I mean, I guess they were mostly good, but then I got things like Nose Pass, which we got Nose Pass in Gen 3. That's a lie. I lied to you.
Pass is 4.
But
Nose Pass is 4.
no, Probo Pass was 4.
Right.
Probo
Pass is 4. I was picturing Probo.
Yeah. Probo Pass. So, I mean, like, very few misses. Like, it's hard because they both have really good ones and they also have some stinkers. But I like the story in Gen 3 more, and I like the gym leaders in Gen 3 more. And that's why I'm leaning Gen 3. I'm a Gen 3 lover. Like, it's my favorite. That's where I'm at.
Okay. This is where I'm. Okay.
Here we go.
So I like the story in Gen 4 more because it made a tiny bit more sense.
Okay, that's fair. Fair. I'll give you it.
I want to make a new universe, so at least people can still actually live in that universe, versus either it's all water or all land.
I didn't say their plan had to be good. They're a little look. We knew they're a little goofy.
I know, but so I really want to say I really do think I like Gen 4's story just a little bit better.
Okay,
now I do think it's a slog to get through because Hoenn is not a fun map.
For Gen 3.
Not Hoenn, sorry. Sinnoh is not a fun map.
No,
Hoenn
especially Mount Cornet is a pain. It is a pain to go up.
Especially a game like caves are just a pain. Like, caves are always a pain. And you made the center of your map a cave, which is just okay.
Full of evil team grunts that you constantly need to go back and heal after fighting, and you don't feel like it. It's a whole thing.
So Mount Cornet was a pain in my butt.
And I didn't. The water. There was a lot of water in Gen 3, sure, but I didn't mind it because there was a lot of land in between in different places. So it worked out.
And also diving.
Diving was sick.
They took it away, but it was sick.
What do you think about legendaries though? For the two.
Oh god, they're so close in my mind. Because I really love the idea that, like, okay, so first off, we introduced Arceus in Gen 4, who created the legendaries who, like, create the universe.
Yeah.
And then, therefore, like Groudon, Rayquaza, and Kyogre are like the creators of just Earth in general, and I'm
Earth, Land,
kind
and
of just
Sea. Yeah.
it's really cool, and I love that. I love both of them so much on that lore.
And then
And
we get
because
the
I like space and because I like all of that, I lean a little bit more towards Gen 4 legendaries and their lore.
I like the Reggies. I like it as wacky as it is to get the Reggies in Gen 3, and the fact that we did not have internet at this time to look up how to do it is
Oh my god.
insane.
I also love how all the Reggies represent a different age and human.
Yep.
Ice Age, the Stone
Stone
Age,
Age,
the Steel
Industrial.
Age,
Yeah.
right?
And
Like
it's
even the two new ones, Draco and Aleki,
yep. And then we got Gigas in 4.
and then Gigas. It's such a cool idea.
I
Truly such a cool idea.
I this is hard. I don't know how we're gonna break this tie. I don't know how we're gonna break this. You're going Gen 4, aren't you?
I think I am.
Oh no, because I am going Gen 3. Okay.
And I also okay, so here's the thing. I also like now this was more in Platinum that they did this, but I did like the little second set of Pokemon that they released in Gen 4 that were all like evolutions of Pokemon who needed a new evolution. Electivire, Magmotor, Yanmega, like all of those. Leafeon, Glaceon. Like actually you know what? You know what Gen 3 gets a cut for? No EV evolutions.
Oh yeah. Can you even get Eevee in Gen 3?
I think so actually.
Fire Red Leaf Green you can.
Oh no, don't maybe you can't get it in
Yeah. I mean we're counting the Fire Red Leaf Green and Heart Gold Soul Silver in there too. But
yes.
I think focusing on the core games is more important.
Yeah, there's the things about it.
This is
Oh, maybe that's our tiebreaker. Maybe that's our tiebreaker. The remakes in these generations.
the counterpoint first that
Yeah.
Gen 3 does that no other generation does. You have a dad.
And he is such a hard gym battle.
He
That
is.
slacking, Vigoroth slacking combo was so mean.
I mean, talk about story, dude. At least this one you have a dad.
Yeah, and then he's like, I'm gonna take the smackdown on you when you come to my gym.
I mean, look, I like the big push for me is I like the Pokemon more in Gen 3 than I do in Gen 4. If we have to go to remakes, we can go to remakes. And the only argument I have here is of why I still would go Gen 3. For the Gen 4 remakes, while they're beautiful remakes, they're still mostly one-to-one remakes with not a lot of post-game after. Gen 3 remakes for Fire Red Leaf Green added Sevi Islands and added a whole bunch of story shit. A whole bunch. We did not have before.
And Gen 3 did make it where you could get all 3 generation of Pokemon.
Yeah. Yeah, you could.
You could. Because the Savvy Islands had Johto Pokemon on it.
Mm-hmm. I could get Ampharos, and I was a happy boy.
And we'll give it to Gen 3. That's gotta be the tiebreaker. I can't give it anything else. It has to be the time.
The Sevi Islands, did it, baby. Because here, what's wild is I prefer Gen 4's remakes to Gen 3's remakes. But if we're talking from a upgrade standpoint, Gen 3's remakes did more. Holy shit. Okay, now we have to do original Generation 2. So just Gold, Crystal, Silver versus Gen 3.
Okay. This is my favorite generation of all time.
I'll have my counters here. It's my favorite versus his favorite. So I'm listening.
Okay. First off, Gold and Silver. Yes, they did not really have, again, same thing as Gen 1, not really a story.
Correct.
Yes, you kind of go around and you bumble your way through and you defeat Team Rocket. But then Crystal comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And Crystal's like, hey, this Suicune, it's got a story.
Mm-hmm.
And not only do you follow that story through Johto, because here's the gimmick of this generation, you follow that story through Kanto.
Yeah. Which is
And so,
that's
which
the
is so cool.
it's the only time that one of the remakes followed the gimmick from the third piece. So like Heart Gold Soul Silver followed that Suicune storyline even though it wasn't Crystal, right?
Yes.
Where we did not get that Fire Red Leaf Green for Pikachu, even though the gimmick was you start with Pikachu. We didn't get that on Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. We definitely didn't get that in BDSP. Oh God, we didn't get anything in BDSP. So like, I will give you that because Crystal is one of the greatest third games of all time. But I mean, so is Emerald. Yeah,
Emerald, they only added the Battle Frontier. And I'm sorry. I
not
got to
true.
do I got to do a whole second set of 8 gyms. I
Uh,
got to relive the first generation and see what's happened in a 3-year time span because these were sequels. These were true
they were
sequels.
supposed to be the
Because it's
last
3 years
Pokemon
later.
games. They were.
Yes.
So here's what else that Gen 3 added in Emerald. You also in Emerald, all gym leaders got buff teams. You got updated stories where you actually fought both evil teams versus just the one.
Oh,
You
yeah, that's true.
you got new Elite Four teams and a new champion, and you got to fight the old champion in a secret cave. More post game content with the Battle Frontier. And once again, this is the first generation where you can catch all 3 generations of Pokemon. You kind of could do that with Gen 2 with the time transporter, but it was complicated.
But yeah, but Gen 2 only had 2 generations of Pokemon, and they didn't have anything. There's no programming for it to do
Yeah,
Gen 3 Pokemon.
true.
But to add to that, actually, um, they took that from Gen 2, that idea of post game, oh, here's the champion. Because
Yeah,
let's be honest here, Silver, Gold, and Crystal all have Red, who's hidden away on a mountain as a secret boss who is technically the previous champion.
true, true. And I will give this to Gen 2. It did introduce one of the most important gimmicks as well. At least for streamers now. It is the generation
Breeding.
that huh?
Breeding.
No, I mean that too. Shit, I forgot about that. I was gonna say shinies, but
Oh, yeah. Chinese breeding day and night cycle. Like,
yeah. Oh God, don't do this to me from an objective state. Damn it! Don't do this to me.
and also let's talk about gems. And let's talk about that Miltank.
Okay, okay. To be fair, I
The
will.
most traumatizing moment for all the kids.
I can compare Watson and at least a lot of people compare Watson and Whitney in difficulty spike for a Gen 3 gym leader. So I think just Whitney had way more of an effect on everybody because it was a normal type gym and no one was expecting that.
Yeah, I never struggled at Watson. I really didn't. So yeah, never mind. I didn't think that was a thing.
Yeah, it was specifically for Nuzlockers. Nuzlockers.
Yeah.
Watson is a big ability check. But God, you're gonna make me do it. Because guess what? When it comes to Pokedex, Gen 2 gave me my favorite Pokemon of all time.
And Gen 2, what I love about its Pokedex is it builds so much off of Gen 1. It takes, hey,
Yeah.
like all these Pokemon, let's give you baby Pokemon of them. Now, you don't need the baby Pokemon, they're just cute. But they also gave some really cool ones. Like Sudowoodo is still one of my favorites as well because it's a tree that's a rock. Like,
I will say this is where they faltered a lot.
it's
Is
Espeon and Umbreon. Done.
they did falter in not the amount of Pokemon they added, but there was a lot of the gym leaders mainly used. Actually, I think all of the gym leaders in Johto only use Kanto Pokemon. I can't think.
Yes.
Yeah, which I think was a
No. Steelix is with
Jasmine. Yeah,
Jasmine.
I think that's the only exception.
And Swine and Kingdra for the last. So
Oh,
Gem 6, Gem 7, Gem 8 use Johto Pokemon.
so that's still bad. They all use one, and we fought, 5 gyms beforehand with all things we've already
Yeah.
seen. That's not great. But
You also included new types. Steel and Dark type were included into this generation.
which both were good checks into Psychic, which was broken at the time.
Yeah. Yep.
And it gave us
telling you.
Umbreon. Okay.
Gave us Umbreon. Gave me my boy. It gave me my boy.
And Espeon. I mean, if we have to even it out, I mean, you gave us Umbreon and Espeon, but you also gave us Spinnerack and Ariados.
I love Spinnerack though. I actually really do. Like, it's one of my favorites. Like, I don't like spiders, but I love that spider.
This is the problem with it. It's not a spider. It's got 6 legs. Why does it only have
that's
6
fair.
legs?
That's fair. I'll give you that.
That's what pisses me off about it so much. On that note,
And then I also like actually, sorry, Koga was just mentioned in chat.
yeah.
I love the fact that we actually didn't fight Koga in his gym. He moved up to the Elite Four. And isn't it his daughter who's the gym
Yep,
leader?
Janine. Janine is the gym leader.
Like I said, I just love it. I'm such a Gen 2 stan. I'm sorry.
I'm such a Gen 3 stan. This is, if I have to give negative points to Gen 2 for anything, it's just a slog. It's a slog in terms of leveling up and grinding. Like if that was not an issue, it probably would be Gen 3. But it gets very boring very quick in that sense.
That's the only thing I'll give you is that slog, and that's it. I still think Gen 2 overtakes Gen 3.
I have to go with you on it. The only thing Gen 3 I think for me, gym leaders and story go to Gen 3. Pokedex is obviously Gen 2 for me because it brought 3 of my favorite Pokemon of all time. So shit. And gimmicks, I mean, double battles and shinies and breeding. Like, it's so close. I'm gonna concede in Gen 2 because Ampharos, and that's it. I hate doing this. This hurts to do, but I'm doing it. I hate it.
Do it.
Dumb. This is dumb, and I hate it. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, now I have to think. No, I don't really. I know what I'm picking with. I think this is easy. This is easy for both of us. It's Gen 2, isn't it?
Let me double check my notes on Gen 5. Yep, it's still Gen 2.
Yeah, it's still Gen 2. Oh man, you can't catch an Ampharos except for a Black 2 and White 2.
Yeah,
Yep.
no. That's actually one thing I will respect them in Black and White 1. I do like because they added so many that they didn't allow other Pokemon in, like, in the wild. Like, you can still trade them into the game.
Yeah.
You're still coded for the game, but you just couldn't catch them. I liked that they did that, but I also liked in Black and White 2 that they fixed it real quick.
Yeah. 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 It's a gimme. The only thing Black and White and Black and White 2 have over Gen 2 is story. It's the only thing they have. Elite 4, I guess, no, because even the Elite 4 in Gen... we got Karen in Gen 2. Karen's a dope Elite 4 member.
Yeah.
Karen's serving. That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was that. I should have known. I honestly, I should put Gen 3 on the other side because we knew it was going to... If Gen 3 was on the other side, it probably would have ended up Gen 3 versus Gen 2. But...
Yeah. Oh, I think so too. I think that's where it really would have landed. Because I think that's still the golden age of Pokemon, Gen 2 and Gen 3.
It absolutely is. Gen 4 did a lot, but even Gen 4 has its faults. I think Gen 3 and Gen 2 are just perfect in every sense. Damn it.
Now, I will say with this open world revamp that they've done in Gen 9, I'm hoping Gen 10 they can make a new golden age, but we'll see.
I mean, they actually have to make the games work first.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said we'll see.
And also, it's about time. Give us our Black and White remakes and actually do something with them. Do something.
I don't think I want remakes. I think I want Black and White 3. Give me another sequel.
What could they do though? What would they? Because
I don't know. I would love it either way.
It's 20 years in the future. Getsus has a son. You are Getsus's son. I don't know.
Something. I don't know.
Cool.
And stopping in junior, love that actually. That's a great one.
Well, guys, that has been me and Nubby's bracket fight on the best Pokemon games of all time. Nubby, thank you for filling in for Emily today.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you all for dealing with me sounding like I'm dying. My throat hurts so bad after this because it just hurts after talking with this voice. It's not fun. If you want to see more, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Podstation64. Follow us on the Twitch. You can find me at twitch.tv/TheBeardedBlake You can find Emily on her channel whenever she decides to go live. And it'd be cool if Nubby streams, but he doesn't. And it makes me sad. So that's
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
It would be Pokemon.
Dude, there are still shiny hunters. Like a lot of Pokemons they're all shiny. That and Safari Week's a big thing. Like it's a whole week of just Safari Zone shiny hunting. It's insane. Cool. Well, guys, next week Emily and I will be starting. We're planning on starting Split Fiction. It will probably be co-streamed on my channel and this channel. So make sure you check that out. And on that note, we'll talk to you guys later. Okay, bye everyone. Bye.